Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the April 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Cancer. As always, my readings are really intuitive, so I'll provide you any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on this month for you. Also, if you've not done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me really greatly. And also, if you subscribe, you'll be notified when I post videos in the future. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close for you. In column number 2, we are going to take a look at what's happening for the month of April. Column 3 is going to be money. Column 4 is going to be love. And in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guide. Also, we're going to do a healing crystal of the month, a healing note, and 3 yes or no questions. But let's see here. We'll pull a summary card. We have the card preservation. Again, this is what's wrapping up and coming to a close for you, Cancer. So hopefully in the last few weeks or month, you've really been able to preserve yourself. Preserve your energy, preserve your mind, preserve your time, not to overdo it for the wrong reasons. Giving too much. But let's see what messages we have coming through here. I do want to point out the wand energy seems to be pretty strong in this reading so far. Wands are typically fire signs, and it is a major tie to creativity. But the first card that we have is the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is a card of victory, award, recognition, good news, success. So likely you did have some sort of success or something celebratory in the last few weeks. You could have also been recognized or received an award. The next card that we have, Cancer, is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a very bold, leadership-like card. It's a card of saying that you have a lot of power. Something might have happened in the last few weeks, Cancer, that made you realize just how much power you have. Some of you could be working in a leadership role or have been promoted to a leadership role as well. And then the next card we have is the Death card. The Death card doesn't actually mean death, but it does indicate a big change. It can indicate an ending to something. It's also like a major indicator of some sort of transformation for you. So you could have had some large, possibly abrupt ending, Cancer, in the last few weeks or month. Or you're going through like some sort of transformation. But let's clarify this column and see what messages we can get. The first card that we have is the Magician. The Magician is good pretty much wherever it comes up in the reading. It's very focused. It is also a creative card. Remember how I was saying with the wands that is creative energy. But this is like turning your visions into reality. So it's basically saying you like created this success or this award or this recognition or this win for yourself, which is really, really cool. It's something you can continue to do. It's inspired action, and it kind of has like the snowball effect. It will continue to build for you if you keep and maintain that positive mindset, Cancer. The next card that we have is the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of luxury, self-sufficiency, financial gain. I get the feeling that some of you like could have gone out and just done your own thing recently, which is good. You time is always a good thing, Cancer. But there definitely could have been some money or financial gains for some of you. Possibly for those of you getting promoted into that leadership position, that could have resulted in more money as well. But just again saying how powerful you are, even yourself as an individual. The 9 of Pentacles is a very you card and what you could do for you without anybody else. The next card that we have is the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords is an interesting card. It is a card of like sadness. It's like heartbreak, divorce, loss, depression. Some of you could have had a bad fight lately and it's leading towards this transformation. Or it could have caused that end of relationship. But it does seem like something pretty big came to an end. That you could have some pretty strong feelings about, Cancer. The nice thing about this column is like it's what's wrapping up and coming to a close. So if you're still feeling these like hard, low, sad feelings, do know that it again is wrapping up and coming to a close for you. Now let's take a look at the next column, which is just general what's going to be happening in April. We have the card perspective. Perspective is always good, so likely you'll be getting a new perspective on something going into the month of April. But let's see what messages we have. Okay, I'm just going to be really honest, Cancer, and you should know by now my readings are pretty positive if you followed me before. And of course, we're still going to clarify this card, but there is a lot of conflict cards in this column. So I'm just going to be flat out and honest and say that the perspective you gain could possibly be from a conflict. But let's read through these one by one. The first card that we have is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is like a card of a bully. It could be like theft, violent, abusive relationship. So like this could be a friend, family member. It could be your actual relationship. But this is like saying that there is a not very good relationship going on right now. And for the most part, we're going to jump down just because I'm going to tie these together here for you. Then we have the Seven of Wands, which is a card of like having to defend yourself. And for whatever reason in this relationship, you're like constantly defending yourself. So I do think that this Five of Swords person is connected to this Seven of Wands person as well. So there's like somebody, again, I don't know this exact person. It could be any numerous person in your life. But it does result in you having to frequently feel like you're defending yourself or defending your actions. And then in the middle, we have kind of a card of like a major change. And what I'm going to say is the Tower is especially good in this column because whatever this relationship is or this self-defense or this conflict is, it is going to come to an end. You may not want to end the relationship with this person, but this is like all around not the best relationship for you. So I do see this almost heading up and ending. But again, the Tower card is always positive for you, Cancer. So this is something that needs to change and is meant to change. But let's clarify this column and see what other messages we can get. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is a card that is like a desire for long-term security. So this card is about long-term. And I think this is just saying that like long-term, I think there will continue to be conflict with this specific person. The next card that we have is the Hangman. This is a very stagnant card. So likely like you just haven't ended this relationship for whatever reason. As you see in this card, you're basically hanging there by your foot, waiting for something to change, waiting for you to find out more information. And it does seem like you are going to move on something. There is going to be a shift coming into the month of April. The next card that we have is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a very romantic card, but it's a card of partnership, proposal, marriage. So again, for some of you, this could be love relationship. Some of you, let's say this other person that you're having tension or conflict is unrelated to your love life. If that's the case, some of you could be having to defend your relationship to some family members also. Like maybe they don't like your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. So I feel like you're having to defend yourself to some family as well. But interesting, there does just seem to be a relationship conflict going on. I do think, again, you'll get new perspective this month, Cancer, which will be good for you. We're going to go over a few other columns, so this isn't the only message I have for you, but it does seem like a relationship will head up or a conflict will head up this month. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments that you have, really truly anything related to money. So let's see what we've got here in our money column for April. I'm starting off with a really strong money card there, and then lots of newness. So at the top here we have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of luxury, self-sufficiency. It's financial gain. This is again that solo pleasures card, so make sure you're taking time for you, doing things for you. But it does appear that there will be some financial gain coming for you in April. You could be getting promoted, it could be a raise, some sort of bonus, but it does feel like there's new money. Maybe you have an investment that pays off really well as well. The next card that we have is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is new ideas or some sort of new mental clarity. So you could have a new business idea this month, or possibly even just have clarity on what you want to do when it comes to career or finances. For some of you, you could be doing like crypto and you're going to learn some new stuff about crypto this month. I'm not sure why that's coming through specifically, but it is. Then we have the Ace of Wands at the bottom. The Ace of Wands is a new project or new creative energy. If you own your own business, the Ace of Wands and Ace of Swords definitely tie really closely together. Like I said, you're going to have a more clear vision, and then you're going to have really this creative vision as well that will tie together nicely. Definitely will pay off. If you have a job and you're not in the position of running your own business, the Ace of Wands is typically some sort of new project for you. So I would anticipate a new project coming to you for work. But let's see what messages I can clarify here for you. And the first card that we have is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is really tired card. In the money column, this could indicate that some of you have been struggling with money for a little while, Cancer. If that's the case, it's definitely going to correct itself with that Nine of Pentacles, so that's really good news. So for those of you feeling in a low spot with money, I think you will feel some relief there in April. The next card that we have is the Emperor. The Emperor is a card of respect, leadership, it's strategic planning. Leaders come up for a few times, so this new thing associated with the Ace of Swords could be a leadership position for you. But the Emperor is good long term. So whatever this new thing is with the two aces together is going to be a really good long term financial move for you, Cancer. Then at the bottom we have the Temperance card. Temperance is a card of balance, harmony, patience. I do think some of you are going to get work-life balance, which is interesting because I think you'll be taking on more work, but for whatever reason it feels more balanced than the work you had before. Maybe whatever like project or task you had before, Cancer, was just kind of like really sporadic and inconsistent. So even though you're taking on something new, it will just be a better balance is the message that's coming through. You also have more money harmony. Definitely some of you were having some financial issues before, so there will be more financial balance for you. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationships, children, anything of that fashion. So thinking of love. The first card we have is the Three of Swords. So we did have the Three of Swords earlier. Again, there is some sort of low feelings happening for you. The Three of Swords is that heartbreak. It could be divorce, but I do feel like this more is so this relationship that's ending that we were talking about. Some of you, this could be a love relationship. Some of you, it could be a friend, coworker, family member. This feels pretty connectly tied to that earlier row that we talked about. Of course, we'll clarify that Three of Swords. The next card we have is the Temperance card, though. So as this issue or fight kind of heads up and comes to an end, I do think there will be more balance for you, though. So as we work through these Three of Swords feelings, there will be new balance, harmony, moderation in life. I feel like you'll look for people with maybe more similar temperament as you. So there's kind of that less hot, cold feeling. But you're actually going to feel way better. You are in your feelings about whatever relationship this is, but on the other side, there is a lot more balance and harmony for you. The next card that we have is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is having to make a decision or having to compromise. As it fits with love this month, they feel like you may feel like you're doing more than your significant other if you're in a relationship, or maybe like your kids have a ton of activities to do this month. It just feels like you're feeling like you're in the position where you're compromising this month, Cancer. But let's see what we've got going on. We have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a really good card, especially when we think of the love. This is like the Knight in Shining Armor card. This is Prince or Princess Charming. Very romantic, very proposal-like. For those of you that are ending this not very good relationship, I do think there's a really wonderful new relationship on the horizon for you. For those of you that are in a relationship, I do think this is like a good reminder of how healthy your relationship is. For some of you, this second column is going to be your love life, but for a lot of you, I don't feel like it's necessarily your partner or your spouse. So again, this is a reminder of the strength of your current relationship or new relationship. If you're single going into a new relationship, really make sure that you're focusing on healing from whatever past trauma or bad relationships you've had before you go into this new relationship, because it is a really new, good, healthy relationship. If you're wanting to get engaged or married, that's a really good card for you as well, Cancer. The next card that we have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of waiting or having to make a choice. So I do feel like you've been waiting for this balance for a while. Again, I think this really ties back to this relationship that could be ending. You've been waiting for this to resolve for a while. You're going to feel so much better with that Temperance card, that balance and harmony when it does. Then at the bottom we have the Hermit card. The Hermit card is about going within for clarity and being on our own personal journey. And that's on top of the Compromise card. And I feel like if love is part of your journey or this relationship is part of your journey, it's kind of that give and take. There will be compromise sometimes. So I think this is being true to yourself, making sure you know what you want. But realistically, there will just be times, Cancer, where you have to compromise a little. But let's take a look at our fifth and final column. Our fifth and final column is a message from our future self or spirit guides. So this is a message to carry into April for you. We have the card Brilliance. I think this is a really strong way to end this reading. There's a lot of good in this reading. I know some of the cards maybe don't look as favorable as they usually do, but the card Brilliance is a good one to have. It reminds you of how brilliant you are, Cancer. Don't ever forget that and all the brilliance that you have. But let's see what messages I can give you here in our fifth and final column. The first card that we have is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card of tradition. It's very conventional. It's a card of having expectations or like conforming. And the message here very clearly is like, don't conform. You don't need to meet certain people's expectations. This is about what you want. And being brilliant, like nobody can tell you otherwise, Cancer. So as people give you a list of conformities or expectations, the message is just kind of like, it doesn't matter unless it's your list of expectations. The next card that we have is the Magician. The Magician is very focused, very creative. It's about turning visions into reality. This is, again, it doesn't matter what anybody else is saying, Cancer. It's about what you want, what you think, and you can have whatever you want. So focus on you. When you're in this like state of being so brilliant, you can have literally anything you want. The Magician is saying that too. You can have anything that you want. The next card that we have is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is new money, new job. We did have some money news cards. I'm not surprised to see that there. It is also a card of patience though. So it could take you a while to realize what you want or realize what your own expectations are. So be prepared for some patience as well. So let's see what clarifying messages we have here. The Tower card we had a little bit earlier. This is again typically that unwanted change. But for me, this is like confirming you need to change your mindset. It's not about what other people expect you to conform to or what other expectations are set out there for you. You need to change the way you think and be focused on your own list of expectations. Focus on your own potential. The next card we have is another money card. So Ace of Pentacles, definitely new money coming in for you, Cancer. This is specifically new job, raise, promotion, investment, income. You had that Page of Pentacles, so two very strong money cards. If you want more money or a new job, these are paired really nicely together with the Magician. So if you think it, if you want it, you can definitely have it, Cancer. Then at the bottom we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is very self-sufficient. Makes sense because self-sufficiency in financial terms just means you don't need anybody else. You can have somebody else, but in general you're doing really well with money. Again, definitely some good money shifts coming in for you too, Cancer. Now at this point in time, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the King of Clubs. This is the number 50 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2, we have the Ace of Spades. This is the number 37 card. That's going to be a no. And for question number 3, we have the 10 of Diamonds. This is number 8 card. That's going to be a no also. So yes, no, no for you, Cancer. We're going to pull a crystal of the month from the Healing Notes deck. This is a crystal to keep with you throughout the month of April to support you. You have fluorite. Fluorite's really, really good. It's good for order, structure, helping you say no, helps give you clarity of thought, and it helps you gives you that healthy ego. And last but not least, we're going to do a note from our Healing Notes deck. Your message says, the only courage that matters is the kind that gets you from one moment to the next. Thank you so much, Cancer, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, when you subscribe, you'll be notified when I post videos in the future, and that helps me very much. If you feel inclined, I'd include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Cancer, and have a wonderful April.